Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, or I go to Buddha for refuge. This is the first chant of the Three Ratna. But have you ever wondered why Buddhism and Jainism emerged in 6th century BCE when Vedic Brahmanism was already a very well established religion by that point of time? In this episode of The Historian's Tale, we are going to understand the context in which Buddhism and Jainism rose. A question which has been asked multiple times by UPSC in history optional and GS. If you ask a Buddhist or Jain monk, they will quote the moral corruption and the materialistic attitude which had emerged in the 6th century BCE due to the revivalism of trade as a reason for the rise of these new religions. The need for an alternative path to sacrifices and rituals would be their argument. However, the story is not that simple. Historians argue that if you dig deeper, there are certain socio-economic processes that created the context for Buddhism and Jainism to rise, and let's try to understand both of them. First, with the rise of the Mahajanapadas, the power of the Kshatriyas had increased exponentially, but their ritualistic status remained secondary to the Brahmins, and therefore, in the fourfold Varna structure, they were still second to the Brahmins itself. Second, the Vaishyas had gained a lot of economic wealth due to the rise in trade. However, they had no means of social mobility and were stuck as the third Varna in the larger societies. Therefore, both the two politically and economically dominant communities, Varnas or groups, were frustrated by Brahmanical domination and their status within society. This created the constituency for new religions which could cater to them, favor them, and even promote them so as to become a bigger religion than Vedic Brahmanism. The expensive and exclusionary nature of the sacrifices of Vedic Brahmanism did not help, and both these religions were based on very simple, straightforward paths to salvation based on meditation itself. So it was the expensive and exclusionary nature of Vedic Brahmanism that in turn alienated the second and the third Varna, who were then already seeking social mobility, something which the two new religions could provide to them and give them primacy in the society itself. If you didn't know this, now you know. I'll keep on bringing such interesting facts, insights into history as part of this series. See you next week with the next episode of The Historian's Tale.